All right. Time to get to the good shit. To Bitcoin. Where to start? There's so much here. So I'm gonna skim through this while I got music playing in my headphones. Um so let me just I'm just gonna jump into the indicators that I'm watching closely to find the top or the signal we've topped. So this indicator, when it touched here, it topped, which was if I go this, let's see, this right here was this top right here. This second top right here was this little top right here. Of course, there is nothing signaling this top that it rallied up, but then it ultimately collapsed. So right now I'm waiting for this area right here to touch. And that's why I'm saying we have a blow off top coming. And I think this blow off top occurs probably in February because if you saw my other video of the S&P, you'll also see that I see, according to Cycles, Elliott wave, and the ChatGPT indicator, that sometime between March, April, and maybe, and this is a big maybe, going into May, there's a very dangerous risk of a significant crash. And I do mean a crash like a more than 20%, like 30%. That's a crash. And so, what I think is missing here, we're just missing to rally into this area right here, and that would be probably considered the blow off top. Now, that's also for the altcoins and everything. It wouldn't be just for Bitcoin, but if you look at the cycles for Bitcoin, they're pretty clear. From this point, they peaked here. They went into this trough. Obviously, they here, and then they went onto this trough. They peaked into this area of this cycle, but now they're peaking using this cycle. I think they'll peak out here. And then from there, it might just go into this. So the idea or the issue that I see coming with Bitcoin is that now that we have ETFs and we're getting ETFs for all these other fucking cryptos, my coworkers know I personally hate ETFs because it means that the big banks and the big governments now have control over it. And so, yes, I know everyone's excited of investment demand and everything and whatnot, but I'm as a libertarian, it goes against the principle of individualism and also privacy because now that we have all these ETFs, as an investor, you think you own crypto, but you own a paper that says you own crypto, but they have your information, they have all your personal info attached to that. So really, that's why I think what's happening here is the culmination of people not realizing that these ETFs are actually bad because in a market crash, so again, I'm referencing my other video, that could take Bitcoin with it. So a lot of people think it would be on its own. I think logically it would take Bitcoin with it because then these companies that have these ETFs would also want to sell these ETFs to, you know, not absorb all these hits that they're taking with their other portfolio stocks and whatnot. And like I said, we still have a sell signal here on the 3 week. And so the other, well, I don't think I need to cover it here, but I'll leave it like that because again, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to talk a lot. So right here in this chart, we can see this indicator is. Let me blow this up. This indicator right here is getting ready to turn. Yes, it can continue rallying, but again, there's not much room left. So that's why I'm saying we're in a topping phase or the final stages from my last video. And so we're waiting for this drop into this cycle trough, and we're closer now than before. And this cycle means we should have had him rally, but we didn't. So we have one final chance and it's during the second half, but I'm having a hard time seeing that if the S&P is already signaling there's a major crash coming. So either way, we're getting signals from other systems, and this one has the indicator here has not changed its projections and saying that we're gonna fucking go all the way down to like 30K, which I I believe if that happens, there will be so many people fucking like self deleting and shit. But anyways, I don't wanna talk like that. Um, alright, so according to this chart setup, yeah, we do have a significant pull coming in, going from now this one has it going all the way out till June and July. So this cycle and system has it, but it doesn't change the fact that it's a down cycle. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let me get past this one real quick. So this one, where if you remember, I call this move like fucking A to the teeth. I had it accurate, and it was projected. So you can see my videos where I drew this line and I never moved it, and it's so fucking accurate that I even nailed the fifth wave top. Well, it's TBD if this was the fifth wave top, because if you see my projection for an ABC, it really is forming a massive shoulder, head, and then a shoulder, like a head and shoulders pattern. And so that's why I think right now we're waiting for this blow off top, and then from there we begin to form the other shoulder before we go down into the next re-entry points, which are either um, sometime between Q1 and Q2 of 2026, or we're looking into Q4 of 2026. I don't know this. It's too early, or there's not enough data, but yeah. So in this chart system, we're still at a sell. We're just inching closer to a strong sell. But it goes back to my point. That's because Bitcoin is hitting. You see on this one, it's hit the top, hit the top, hit the top, hit the top. Every time it hits the top, it does a nasty retracement. And right now, we're hitting it. So let me just go like this. Yeah, see? Hit it, retrace. Hit it, which is this point, retrace. Hit it, which is this point, retrace. We're hitting it right now as we speak, and I do think we're going to retrace. And if we manage to peek through above it, I think we'll be moving this to a strong sell, at which point, yeah, I mean, it'll be really up to the individual if you want to hold on and ride this fucking wave going down, but nothing changes that the fact that all the indicators are pointing now on this chart of a downturn. So I'm going to go one by one. So you can see two dots, and we've never gone past four dots, so we're already two dots in. We get another dot, it's like it's game over, baby. It's gonna drop nasty. This one, same thing. We're touching the top. Hard for me to see this one going any further. This one right here. We're in the money zone, which is basically the cash out zone. So there's nothing here that can change my mind. We're in the cash out zone. So if you're not cashing out, or what's the word, hedging your bets, then you're asking for trouble. Okay, let's move on. I'm rushing because I'm fucking tired, people. Okay, on this one, we only have a couple of indicators on the right that are ready to pull down. This one is already pulling down, but it's trying to turn for, again, a potential blow off top. And I haven't changed my opinion. If it does go into blow off top between 115 and 120, even though this whole year, well, actually, no, all of 2024, I was not in the camp of 100,000. I didn't believe Bitcoin can go to 100K, but it went through it, but it's stuck. It doesn't seem to be able to get above 105, and it's like at the beneath 110. It just seems to struggle so much. So maybe I was off. I'm trying to cope here, so let me be, people. But I'm trying to cope that maybe I was off by 10K. Anyways, I'll let it go. So this is another indicator setup that says bearish moves are coming. Basically, there's a downturn coming. This one is also above, way above the threshold, so we should expect this to turn. But this indicator signals that there could be a final blow off top before we see a collapse or a crash, really. But it's going to be a big one, according to what I saw in the other video. The candle report indicators are sideways, but leaning down. So again, seems like, yeah, I'm really running through this people because I'm out of energy. And this one already says the target, if it were to blow top, the target would be at 123. So currently from 104, there's a chance it could go all the way up to 123. But again, it's hard for me to see that during the first week of February because in the first week of February, we have a lot of bearish signals coming up. So it's like I don't think that this thing is going to rally because the market looks also ready to start hinting that it's a big ass drop coming. The question is, what's going to trigger it? I mean, you got the Russia Ukraine war, you got the Middle East war, you got all these changes Trump is implementing, you got all these people that are being deported, which means they're not going to show up for your work, they're not going to pay their mortgage, they're not going to pay their auto bill or rental or car loan. There's a lot of financial things that are going to be a real problem, and I think it'll be noticeable by March and April. Like we'll see the effects of deporting people and how that impacts the economy. We'll see the effects of tariffs if Trump actually goes through with all the tariffs, and we'll see the effects of all these executive orders in the economy, and then we'll see how the Federal Reserve, I forget the new guy's name, but the new Federal Reserve, how he handles the situation. I know that Jerome Powell's on his final legs, but still, I mean, like, that's why I think scientists are saying that this shit has a blow off top in Q1, but right after the blow off top, this shit can get really dangerous. Okay, so like right here, this indicator's on the 3 week, or this chart, I'm sorry. Sell, this one hasn't topped, but it's on its way. Already top, topping as we speak. Ah, this is the one I wanted to show. So you see right here with this indicator, the signal that I'm looking for the tops would be when all three lines are above the threshold and crossing together. So right there, right there. We're about to get it. So I think somewhere between, yeah, see, because this goes like the next target would be February 17th. So this says second half of February is when we should see a blow off top either commence or be rapid going into the end of February before we see March and April with a nasty reversal. Because look at the indicator. It's getting really close to top. This one is topping right there. This one's there. So it's like we're so close. So it's and all of these are ready to turn, but they're not fully turning, and we still have this one that's waiting to blow up into probably February-ish. So yeah. So close this down. Oh shit. What was that? Okay. So this one, nothing's changed. This one is basically we're getting divergence. The MACD is weakening significantly on the 2 week chart down here, and up here doesn't show any signs, but we do have this resistance line or ceiling, whatever. And I think going into this cycle, which is towards the end of 2025, we should. I don't want to forecast that far out, so I'm not going to finish that sentence. Okay, let's see what is this. This is the MACD chart setup. So MACD is already on a heavy divergence. You can see on the 3 day, it's been on a downturn. It just the 2 day is like sideways, and the 1 day is no signal at all because it's flat. And the 12 hour is also flat. There's no signal. So it's like either Bitcoin is waiting for something, which I think it's the end of the month that it's waiting for. And then, which again, I don't think it's going to go up. I think it's going to be sideways, but to the downside sideways. Yeah, like right there, this purple line crossing down like this, that's the first thing I added. That signals. Yeah, see, watch the purple line. It's coming down with a vengeance. Coming down with a vengeance, not coming down. So the what is this, the 4 hour, the 6, and the 8 hour are all signaling a push to the downside. And then on the 3 day, you have a bearish harami candle. So yeah, really good. Okay, no comment for this one. It's the same. It's still in the cells, and it's topping. And we got to sell, and it's not moving, but it's gonna move. This one's top. This one's already turning. This one is midway, like resetting into neutral zone. So I don't know. This chart's not that helpful today. This one is comparing Bitcoin to the dollar. The dollar seems to want to drop, which would make Bitcoin rally, but the dollar, like I said, on the daily, it's above the 50, so it could do a surprise rally, which, in my opinion, would push everything else down. So on this one, we're still within the yellow threshold, and I said I think on my last video that we could see a blowout top going into the 113, this area, and I think that's it. So I did put into May. I feel like I'm gonna push it now into. No, fuck that. I'll keep it at May. I think by May, if we don't see it by May, then it's gonna destroy or fuck with a lot of my charts. But according to this, we should see a blowout top coming in here in this area into the 110, 112, 113. Okay. Again, this just signals bearishness on the horizon, a strong bearish. Because fuck, look at all this. It goes out into this is into December 2025. So this is for the remainder of the year. So 2025 is a down year. That's crazy. I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm too tired to comment on this one as well. But long story short, this one is bearish. 5 out of 5. Red dot at the top, sell signal, and this one was giving the signal to sell, but I think people are trying to keep this shit up and running. Renko, the unemotional, is top, ready to turn, trying to turn, topping, topped, topping, top. So Renko is just waiting. So whatever this trigger is, I think it's the end of the month thing. We should see the first week of February being a down week. I just think I need to call it right now that I think it's going to be a down week. The first week. I think the second week going into the third, that's when we begin to see the recovery or the blow off top phase kind of thing. But at that point, you better be in your altcoins or whatever the hell you want to be in because I don't think you're going to get another chance. Like, honestly, I don't think you're going to get another chance. Fuck. Okay, yeah, so yeah. So I think, yeah, I think we're there. I'm tired, people. I'll catch y'all later.